Hey guys, good evening and welcome to my exciting channel. We're discussing Mandela effects of the like. Thank you for joining in. Welcome all Mandela effectians. So I'm back in my old place, safe from the storm, and I hope all of you out there are safe as well. Tonight's video live, we're going to be talking about some residue that was sent in by Brian Staveley. So let me share that with you. Hold on one moment. Okay, this is his channel, Brian S Staveley, not to be confused with the author. He has his own radio, reality radio, therealnewsonline.com, and he's also been on our show quite a bit lately. But yeah, some of the things he's been talking about are 9/11, and there are various other topics that he talks about as well, some paranormal and stuff like that. Anyway, he found me some residue. He said he was listening to some wrestlers talking sense, and Kevin Nash in this story is telling about the New World Order. And if you listen closely, you can hear them talking about the Monopoly guy. So hold on real quick.
I knew you were I did okay. Yeah, you look like the Monopoly guy. You're driving from town to town in a black top hat and a monocle.
My God.
I remember they started bootlegging that. Just to quickly talk about me for a second.
Oh man, that was great, guys. So is it a case of misremembering or what? Or is it residue? You decide. But I have Theresa Lynch join with me. She's my residue hunting queen. She finds me residue. And residue is what's left behind after a change, in case there are some of you new guys out there. That I want to welcome everyone, too, by the way. But yeah, so great residue. Thank you, Brian Staveley, for that. Theresa, what are you sending me now?
You look like
some
the
stuff?
Monopoly guy.
As you know, yesterday was 17 years of 9/11, Brian.
All right. That's going to be our next video.
And I am sending you pictures from 9/11. We all know what happened that tragic day, correct?
Yes. We
you want to talk about it? There was various things that were hit that morning. Getting hit. The Pentagon also got hit. And then in Pennsylvania, I believe a plane went down. Is that Shank? Am I saying it right? Shanksville?
Believe so.
Shanksville?
One of them was going to hit the
pictures of that I'm sending you.
Right.
So I'm now sending pictures of 9/11 because we would like to do a tribute, even though today is 9/12, in memory of all the people who lost their lives, including firefighters, policemen, paramedics, people who worked in the towers, a lot of different people from all wakes of life lost their lives, and it affected thousands of people throughout the country. You know what I mean, Brian?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's a day in history that is actually going to be in the history books. And for people who weren't born yet, this is going to be in their history books because there's a lot of, because like I said, it's 17 years ago, and a lot of people who were really young don't remember this happening. But us older people, in our 30s and 40s and 50s, remember this tragic day. And most of us remember on that day where we were at. And I did, Brian, post something in the group asking people if they remembered where they were at that day. Do you remember where you were at that day, Brian, when all this stuff happened that morning? I was just curious.
Oh, I know where I was at. I was in my AIT Army training. I was in
really?
Augusta, Georgia, and we were destroying hard drives at the time.
Wow.
And I looked up, somebody said, "Oh, guys, you got to come watch the news." And next thing you know, the buildings went down. That was crazy.
But you know what's weird about this is when at that time, President Bush was at a school with kids reading out of that book, which actually is the Mandela Effect itself. Remember the book? What was the name of the book? Remember? And they said that changed.
Something about a dinosaur or something like that.
No, it was. I can't remember the name of it, but somehow the book that he was reading changed.
Well, the book that he was reading is actually upside down in this reality. I don't know.
Which is strange because you don't read a book upside down.
I know. Very strange.
I'm sending you pictures from 9/11.
Yep.
If you want to show them, there's all different kinds.
I'm going to cover that in our next video. For the remainder of this video, I wanted to talk about this residue that was sent in. We're getting slammed with residue, you guys. It's insane. There's brand new changes, such as the kneecaps, I believe, have shifted.
Oh, is that new?
If you look, the kneecaps are higher.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is crazy. Look at kneecaps. The bone structure.
That's a new one for me, Brian.
Yeah, they're up actually a little higher now, like on the kneecap itself.
Hold on, let me feel my knees. Oh my God, you're right.
Look,
I didn't even realize that until you told me. Thanks.
Look, guys, I'm telling you, the kneecap is now up higher. It used to be in the middle, but now there's this.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, there's this like empty space now. It seems. I mean, look.
Wow.
Like here's a good example. You see the kneecap right here. I could have sworn it was down lower, like a little bit lower, you know? So that's a change right there for me. How does it impact my life? Well, it explains why maybe some of us are having a lot of knee pains.
That explains a lot.
Here's this other residue, and I'm going to jump right into the next video, the 9/11 residue, or 9/11 video that we're going to be talking about. So,
like a tribute.
Yeah. I wanted to do it yesterday. Unfortunately, I was on the road yesterday getting away from the hurricane. So, yes, I drove for 11 hours.
Please going through that, please. Bunker down or get out. You don't want to go through this, correct, Brian? Anybody who's in the path of that storm?
You do not want to be in the path of it.
No. I did hear something else that kind of scared me, Brian. I don't know if you're aware of this. Is it true in South Carolina they have nuclear plants? Because I saw something about that people are kind of freaking out about, that there's like 3 or 4 nuclear plants that they're afraid if this storm hits, that could cause some problems. Is that true?
I didn't really hear about that portion, but I did hear about in North Carolina.
I will have to show you something on that.
All right, that's crazy. In North Carolina, they have pigs. There's pigs manure, and there's coal ash that can contaminate the water. So that's another possibility that would be really bad. So let's hope and pray that those guys are going to be okay over there. There's a lot of natives to that area, like people that are from there that have been through hurricanes, but this one seems to be different. If you're in those areas, get out. You know, the governors have already told you, get out if you're in those areas. So it's best sometimes to heed the warnings. So yes, let me jump back over here. It's funny how the mind works sometimes. But yeah, Chris Jericho talking with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And you got to listen to this. This is residue for Sally Fields. You like me, you really like me.
Started in WCW when I ripped Dave Penzer's tuxedo off, and the next week they made me go back in there with a tuxedo, and I said, I promise I will never, ever, like, just over the top, like, I got it from Sally Field. You like me, you really like me, and it's like, I don't like you anymore from that, so I'll never, ever do it again. And then you see people with signs.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how Brian S Staveley found it, but he found it. This is crazy.
Wow. Dave Penzer's tuxedo off, and the next week they made me go back in there with a tuxedo, and I said, I promise I will never, ever, like, just over the top, like, I got it from Sally Field. You like me, you really like me, and it's like, I don't like you anymore from that.
Yeah, I mean, how would that be? So his memory's messed up as well. Explain residue, Theresa. Explain for us lay folks.
Is when we remember things the old ways, and residue is like leftover memories that hadn't gotten erased yet. And when I first woke up in 2016, I knew that there had to be proof out there, and I didn't know what residue was. I didn't even never heard of the word before. But to me, residue is proof that it once existed and it still exists somewhere. As long as you search hard for it, you can find it. And that's why I never gave up residue hunting, because I know that our memories still exist somewhere out there, and we cannot forget what you remembered. And don't let anybody try to change your memories. Correct, Brian? No matter how hard they try, don't let them change what you remember.
Exactly. Don't let them change anything.
You have to fight it.
It's like the memory recall or total recall. I saw a video that Recall Vector put out, and the name of the company changed from Recall RECALL to Recall REKALL.
Which I'm in the middle looking for, Brian, by the way.
Pretty crazy. And I really
will find that for you, Brian. Okay.
All right, let's look for that. Any other Mandela effects out there, guys, you would like to talk about? Anything with the hurricane? Are you guys clear away from the hurricane? Tracy says we're in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, buckling down. Oh God, I hope you guys are okay down there. I really feel that like we have to seek the Lord, you know, with a lot of sympathy. And there's been a lot of bitterness in the Mandela Effect community. I'm sure Theresa can probably talk all about that.
Oh my gosh. It just seems like as the Mandela Effect increases, Brian, it just seems like people are getting more aggressive. And the Mandela community to stick together and come together as a team, not be split apart with bickering and fighting and I don't like this and I don't like that. I mean, we need to stick together. There's something out there that's trying to divide us. And we cannot let that happen, right, Brian? No matter how much you think you don't agree with somebody. I mean, there's things that Brian and we've done Mandela Effects for so long. How many years, Brian, at least? A few years now I've known you?
It's been a couple years since 2016,
and there's been times that he remembered something one way and I remembered it a different way, but I won't argue with Brian and say you're wrong. I'll go looking for residue, and then sometimes he'll be like, oh yeah, you're right. But because of the timelines converging, that could be what's causing these several different people remembering a couple different ways. You know what I'm saying, Brian? I mean, somebody might remember something with an A, somebody else might remember something with an E, you know. But we all have the Mandela Effect. That's what we all have in common. We all are from all over the world. This Mandela Effect is not just affecting the United States. It affects the world. And you're going to have people from all walks of life that's just going to be now waking up. And how I explained about my group, which, can I bring it up, Brian?
Yeah, go right ahead.
I started this group probably a few months ago. What is it, like 3 or 4 months now? Reality Residue Hunter. And I've tried to explain to people what makes this group different is, yeah, sure, there's other Mandela groups out there. But my group is different because, number one, I do let people post old residue and people post new residue. And the reason for that is because, as you know, we were all at different stages of when we woke up or when we're going to wake up. Some people had just only been awoke a week. Some people have been awake 2 weeks. Some people have been awake a year. For us, that's maybe like old residue, for example, Febreze, Monopoly Man, C3PO with, being all golden now having a silver leg. For us, yes, that might be old residue to us, but it's not to new people who are just now waking up. This is a shock to them. And in the group, I want people to understand, yes, it might be repetitive. You might be like, oh my God, I've seen C3PO 10 times, because we don't know when we have new members coming in how long they've been awake. So the reason for this is having old residue, having new residue, having new Mandela effects that are brand new to me that Brian might have seen a week ago, right, Brian? Like, you'll come to me and say, oh my God, look at this, is a new Mandela effect. And I'll be like, Brian, I already knew about that from 3 weeks ago. So everybody's at different stages at this. And besides in my group, I also let people post different things because, of course, you know, the sun is not white. A lot of people remember it being yellow. So, yes, we post things about the sun. We post things about the moon. We post things about the weather. I post stuff about hurricanes all the time because if you think about it, weather could be considered manipulated, right? And if it's manipulated, that we can consider kind of like a Mandela effect, but something that the controlling of the weather. And there's different things that we're just finding out about that are not being discovered, different items, different animals that somebody will be like, oh yeah, I remember this animal from 3 years ago. I just found out about blue eggs. I didn't know about chickens laying blue eggs. Somebody else would be like in the group, well, yeah, I remember that. But for me, it's new. So we're just discovering new animals. We're discovering new stars out there that never existed. We're, new planets. I mean, there's so much. The Mandela effect is so vast. It's not just logos. It's a lot. It's a lot of different things that's covered, from songs, from movies, from people's names changing. I mean, it's so vast, and it just goes beyond the logo changes.
Right,
so
and
that's why I don't mind people posting different things in the group, because time. I mean, I posted something this morning. I don't know if, Brian, you've seen it. I asked people if their taste buds, this is going to sound bizarre, has the taste of food changed for anybody? It has for me. Food does not taste the same to me. I lost 12 pounds. I'm not even trying to lose weight. I've lost 12 pounds. I'm constantly craving water, and I never hardly drink water. I'm more of a Coke drinker. The Mandela effect could be affecting our taste buds, could be affecting our smell. I mean, 12 pounds is a lot of weight for me. I mean, I'm not even on a diet. And I think it's affecting more than just our body changes. It's affecting our organs, which is all connected to our smell and our hearing and our, you know what I'm saying, Brian?
Yeah.
So it's the Mandela effect is just so widespread, but beyond the logos, beyond the songs, the changing of the countries moving up and down, north to south, the Arctic disappearing, the land masses disappearing, new islands popping up, new animals that we've never seen before, things that are like rainbows, like everything's rainbow, this, rainbow, that. A blue lobster I've never seen in my life. I mean, there's so many different changes in animals that we've never seen before, and I'm like, what the heck is that? We got these huge walking sticks that are almost as big as your arm. I've never seen a freaking walking stick as big as my arm. Come on. Pretty soon we're going to wake up tomorrow and we're going to have dogs that look like cats, and they're going to be called the cats or somewhere named. I mean, we don't know what tomorrow brings. I mean, if everything keeps changing, Brian, like it's changing, who knows what we're going to turn into? I mean, our bodies keep changing. Maybe we're getting upgrades. I don't know. Maybe we're getting ready for something.
I don't know, but
if these Mandela effects keep coming and coming and coming, there's reasons why they're happening. We don't know why. We're still investigating this. I mean, if anybody's got a solution or can answer why are the Mandela effects happening, everybody's got different views of why it's happening. You know, like the Bible. Could it be CERN? Could it be time travel? There's all these different possibilities of why it's happening. I'm hoping one day it'll be solved, because I really want to know why all these changes are happening. Because it totally, even though I've been awake 3 years in December, it still freaks me out sometimes when I see changes. I've seen things happen in real time, like literally merging in front of me, words disappearing, letters disappearing. There's got to be a reason why this is happening, Brian. And I mean, if anybody knows the reason why it's happening, I would love to hear it. And that's what I got to say.
I don't know. I think it has a lot to do with CERN and Satan. But
Yeah,
we
I mean,
are going.
What do
We
your
are.
people think in the audience?
I think.
What do they think it's happening?
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, everybody should be on guard right now. We are being judged. We're going through some kind of transitional period. It feels like, and hearts are being waxed cold right now. We really need to warm our hearts, you know, and be more welcoming of others. And I just want to say a quick prayer. You know, Father, we lay ourselves at your feet, and whatever bitterness and anger we have, we need to let it all go at Jesus's feet. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
So that's a wrap, you guys. Also, be sure to check out Theresa's group. She's doing really well. She's got, how many subscribers you got, Theresa, on Facebook?
I think I have almost 1,400 subscribers, somewhere around there, Brian.
Okay.
And I would love for anybody to want to join the group. You're welcome to join the group, and you can paste your residue, old, new, any new Mandela effects. I would love to find about them. Reality residue hunter with 3 exclamation marks. Please, I would love to have you in my group.
Well,
we're like a family there.
Yeah, we are, and really, you know, there is no bitterness. You know, when it comes to sharing residue, we try to give as much credit as possible. And I know some people don't care about credit, but I think if somebody spent like 2 hours trying to find something, I think they deserve some kind of recognition for it. So again,
there's times, Brian, that I've searched and searched and searched for residue for one day, and I don't find anything. And what's bizarre is the next day, I'll go looking again. All of a sudden, all this residue came out of nowhere. And I think it might have a lot to do with that shifting. I really do. Because why didn't that residue exist the day before, right?
Right. So let me ask you this, Theresa. Do you feel like the residue is shrinking or growing? Like, is there more residue being produced as we go, or is it shrinking as the effect is going on? And how do you feel?
It kind of goes up. It kind of goes up and down for me, Brian. Sometimes I'll find a lot. Now it depends on the actual effect, if that makes any sense. Like, I can look for something and there's like tons of residue, like for example, Fruit Loops. There's tons of residue for Fruit Loops. There's some residue for Skechers with my tea. And then there's other items that I'll be searching and searching, and I want it. So for me, being a residue hunter, it depends on the actual effect. Does that make sense? Like the Jaws logo, you know, with the bites on it, that took me over a year or longer to start even finding anything remotely close to that kind of residue, something close to it. So it all depends on the actual effect. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
But if it's to be found, I will do my best to search every avenue and any way I can find it, so that I can show everyone the residue for like today. Was it today or yesterday? I posted pixie sticks, and a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, I didn't know it changed." Well, I remember PIXIE. Yes, that's an old Mandela effect, but it doesn't come up very often in my group. I think I'm the first one that's ever posted that. And I found PIXIE, but now when you look, it's PIXY. And I had some of my members say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even know about that." And you're right, I do remember PIXIE. So there is some old effects that people kind of forget about, and then I try to find them and bring it back up, and they're like, "Oh yeah," and it reminds people, "Oh my God, that's right. That is an effect." Things that you don't hear about as much. You know?
Yep. Well, the chat and the video right now, because it is a school night for a lot of folks, and want to wish you all a good night and God bless. Again, thank you for coming. Okay, and we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Good night, guys.